Hello, everyone. How are you? Thanks for joining me. I want to talk today about the language that we use. And somebody shared a little quote out of a book with me this week. And it was about us using disclaimers when we don't need to use disclaimers. And I thought it was a really interesting observation. And it reminded me of when I first set up United Art Space. And people used to say to me, "What is it that you do?" And I used to say, "I'm trying to help artists make a living." And I remember once saying that to someone and they said, "Trying to help?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well," they put a chair in front of me and they said, "Well, try and pick up that chair." And I picked it up and they said, "Well, you just picked the chair up. Now try and pick it up." And I was like, I get your point. So there's no such thing as try. You either are or you're not. And it kind of stuck in my mind. And they then went on to talk to me about language and about these words that we litter throughout what we're doing as a person, as an artist, how we often undermine and we belittle what we're doing. And I just thought I'd talk to you about this today in case you're doing it and becoming really self-aware of the words and the language that you use. Because when we say these things, "I'm trying to do this," it sounds weak, it's lacking confidence, and it comes across to people. And one of the lessons that I learned this week was the use of disclaimers when we don't actually need to use a disclaimer. So I see this a lot happening amongst artists and wanted to share it today. So, for example, people sometimes say, "I'm an artist, but I'm self-taught. I'm an artist, but I'm an amateur. I'm an artist, but I don't sell yet." And it's that disclaimer at the end. "I do this, but I'm not trained," or "I do this, but it's just a hobby." How many of you listening do that? Or have you found yourself saying these disclaimers when you don't need to say them? It's really interesting. It's almost like we're trying to just justify and make ourselves feel better by adding the doubt on the end. And that's what it is. It's doubt. It's the doubt coming through in what we're saying, and we don't want that. So, as much as possible, being really aware of the language and what you're saying has a massive impact when you are writing social media posts, when you're talking about yourself and your work. And it takes practice. So, I found myself over the years giving disclaimers, saying, "I'm trying and I'm doing this, but," and now I start to become more and more aware of how I'm saying things. And I change it around so it has more confidence, and it makes such a difference. It really, really, really does. And there was one other thing that I was thinking just now, what artists say a lot. And I think, especially around being self-taught, people feel like that should be said and should be known. And I have never met a buyer yet who has wanted to know how many qualifications an artist has before they buy an artwork. A gallery might want to know because it might be important to them, but I've never met a buyer who has asked, "So before I buy this, how many qualifications and how much training have you had?" So it's a really interesting one. And also, thinking about it from the point of view of people paying you compliments. So when someone says something nice to you, don't return the compliment with doubt by saying, oh yeah, it was just one of my scrap pieces, or yeah, I did that last year and I was, I see it happen so often where someone will pay a compliment and they'll just turn the compliment into doubt and into, oh yeah, it was just this. It's really interesting to see, and it's something that we do habitually and we don't realize. I think a lot of us who do it as well are so programmed to react and speak in this way that you might not even realize. I didn't realize until that day when someone said to me, you're trying to do this. And then I realized how that actually sounded. Even if people hear it and they don't detect the actual wording, it still leaves people with a sense of you feeling doubtful about what you're doing, or you're lacking a bit of confidence. So the use of words and the way we say things, and if someone pays us a compliment, the best thing we can say is, thank you. Yes, I really enjoyed making that work. Instead of replying with doubt. So that's my top tip for this week. It's a big one and it can be absolutely life-changing, because the more you speak confidently about yourself and about what you're doing, and just changing just a few words, stop using the disclaimers. Just say, I'm an artist. I make art. You don't have to say that you're an amateur. You don't have to say that you're a hobbyist struggling behind the scenes. You can just own where you're at and just say it. And if someone pays you a compliment, accept it and thank them. So that's it from me today, short and sweet. And let me know if you find yourself saying these things. Thank you for joining me. I am going to head to the comments now, and happy Monday, everybody. How are you all? I have some very exciting news as well. So my podcast has launched. It's out in the world. It came out at the weekend. We've been working behind the scenes on setting it all up. So every week you'll be able to subscribe to the podcast. I'm actually going to pop it into the comments now. Let me just grab the link. I did have the link and it's gone. So if you are on iTunes or Spotify, you can go and subscribe to the podcast. It's the Your Art Matters podcast. And there'll be an episode each week. There we go. It's in the comments now. So please subscribe. I'm going to stick it on the screen as well. Hold on a minute. Let's get all fancy, shall we? There it is. So it's that's quite a long URL. But it's just been emailed, and if you're on our email list, go and check your emails because the link has gone there. It would be amazing if you could subscribe and leave a little review. That would be amazing, and I'll go and check at the end of this week to see. It's so amazing to see you all here. How are you? Hello, Jack, Minnie, Melanie, Janine, Colin, hello. I'm just going to check and scroll down. Yeah, hello, May. So true, never say try, just be. Good morning, everyone. Lovely to see you all here. Back for the Monday motivational lives. I'm happy to be back. Hello, Angela. Jane from the West Midlands, you're in my neck of the woods. Hello. Yes, the word try is in a state of mind. Yeah. Oh yeah, great book, Julie. I am reading Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway alongside the hub, and everything you say is so true. I'm glad. Yeah, it's a great book. It really is. And it talks about that in there, doesn't it? Hello, everyone. Hello. Oh, Julie, I'm sending you a big hug. Every day I fear the doubt. And I think we all do. And it's just a case of becoming more self aware and just check, even small little changes like that. Stop saying try, or um, changing just the way we accept a compliment, or dropping the disclaimer. Every time now I write an email or I'm writing something, I'm always looking, is there any doubt or fear creeping into this? And if there is, I take it out and I reword it. So I'm always looking now, because it does come out in all of us. And especially it comes out when we're not realizing. Oh, Charlie, for sure. I don't even say artist, I'm a but. Yeah, Sean saying I've definitely used most of those disclaimers. Oh, bless you. Lloyd says, oh no, I've been sabotaging myself. But haven't we all at some point? I spent my whole life sabotaging and doing all of this. So the greatest thing in life is actually realizing and doing something about it. And it's never, ever too late to do that. So the great news as well is that it's all within our control. It's within our power to change the way we react to a situation, as hard as it is when we are programmed to respond in this way. The great news is that we can reprogram. It takes a bit of effort, because you have to be really mindful all the time, like checking and what you're writing, and am I letting fear creep in? But the thing to remember as well is not to beat yourself up if you read back a message and see it there. It's just how you were feeling that day. It came out. That's okay. Next message, just be more mindful and see if you can reword it in some way. It's all about being kind to yourself as well. Oh, Lisbeth says, yeah, I used to talk about my little business. Yeah, and when you think about it, when it comes across, when you're reading something, that doubt puts doubt and fear in the person reading it sometimes. If someone's about to buy, or they're thinking about buying, if they can sense the doubt and fear in you, then they're not going to take the plunge, possibly. So it makes a big, big difference. But like I say, if you're doing it, don't beat yourself up. Now is the time to start recognizing it and change it. Hello, Winston. I was dabbling, but we'll be doing art for a living now. Wonderful. Good for you. Hey, Sally, nice to see you. Sorry I'm late. I got too caught up in doing the 7 keys. Well, that's what I like to hear. It's going well. Then morning, Stacey. Anne says, yeah, I feel I'm waiting all the time until I start selling regularly, but I haven't even finished what I want to sell, so I don't feel valid yet. The thing is, you'll never feel ready either. I just don't think there's ever that time when you feel like, right, this is the time I'm going to say it out loud. You just have to start saying it and start feeling it now. Someone once said to me that when I think about United Art Space and what I want it to be and where I want to go, who do I need to be to make that happen? And you have to start being that person now and start feeling it and saying it now. And it was such good advice. And there's no time like the present, I would say, to just start being comfortable with, oh, this is it, I'm an artist. Yeah, Jane, it's just as good to be self-taught. Just got to just block someone. There we go. Um, yeah, you're right, Katie. It is common in women and about clothes. And yeah, like it's a really old dress. It's so strange, isn't it? Why we do that? Why we do that? Accepting a compliment with grace is an art form. Yeah, and it can be learned. Worth remembering that if you undermine someone's compliment, it's actually a bit rude. Yeah, that's also a good way of looking at it, like from the other perspective of how you make the other person feel. And you're right, because sometimes if they've paid you a compliment as well and you go, oh, yeah, it was just an old work, it kind of makes them feel like, oh. um, Good morning, honey, Lorna. Yeah, I love this. I never went to university and I have no formal qualifications in fine art, but I still got to work for the artist Damien Hirst in his studio as a professional artist, and it was the best time of my life. How amazing. Yeah, and self-taught is an achievement, Bernie. It is. It really is. Yeah, into podcasting, yes. Yeah, notes for the bio. You definitely want to be looking at your bio and your artist statement and seeing if there's any doubt or fear creeping into that for sure. Um, Yay, Anita's working through the 7 keys and the mindset. Isn't it great? I'm glad to hear it. Oh, look at this. Yeah, Sally, I was just about to say, it's just a little sketch I did last week. There you go. Isn't this a great example? So someone's just paid a compliment to Sally to say that they like her picture, her profile picture, and she was just about to say, it's just a little sketch. But I'm just going to change that to thank you very much. It's from a photo of some gorgeous little snowdrops that were a present from a lovely friend. Now, how amazing is that? What an amazing live example. It was just a little sketch that I did last week. Yeah, just totally undermining that. But how nice is the response that you've just written instead? Feels really lovely and abundant and kind. And yes, couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, I love this. Hey, Jack, I dropped out of art school, art college, and the hub has made me feel like a second chance, and I'm there again. I love it. I'm so happy that you feel that way, Jack. So happy. Um, Brilliant. Okay, wonderful. That's it. Short and sweet. I'm trying to keep these ones really short on a Monday. That's my motivational tip. So, podcast is out. Be careful of your words. Choose them carefully. They are powerful. Your words and your written words are powerful. Keep those nasty doubt, fear words out and start speaking from a place of confidence, even if you don't feel it. So that's the tip. More exciting stuff to come. I will see you all next Monday. If you are a hub member, I'll be live on Thursday and we're going to start looking at your why and why you make art, and also just want to reassure anyone who's a beginner in this stage as well that the 7 keys can still work for you no matter what stage you're at. So have a lovely, lovely week, everybody, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.